Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something super important, the emergency fund. I know, we've all heard of it. And if you ask most Pinoys where their emergency fund is, you'll probably get answers like, oh, it's in my Gcash, or I put it in a time deposit for better returns, or even, it's invested in stocks saying name and the potential earnings. And I get it. We Filipinos are resourceful. We love the idea of making our money work harder for us, of seeing it grow. But here is the hard truth we need to face. An emergency fund isn't meant to earn you a fortune. It's not an investment. Its one and only job is to be there for you instantly when everything else in your life goes sideways. Think about it. If your so-called emergency fund is tied up in the stock market, what happens if your emergency strikes during a market crash? You'd be forced to sell at a loss. If it's in a time deposit, what happens when you need the money now, but there are penalties for early withdrawal or you have to wait for banking hours? That's not an emergency fund. That's what I call a hope fund. You're just hoping the market is up, hoping the bank is open, hoping you can get your money when you desperately need it. An emergency fund should be your financial bedrock, the one thing you can count on when you can't count on anything else. It's your lifeline. So today, we're going to stop hoping and start planning. Let's break down how to build a real, life-proof emergency fund, the smart way, using a simple 3-tier system. This structure ensures you have the right amount of money in the right places, ready for any kind of crisis, big or small. Let's start with Tier 1, the grab-and-go cash. This is the most basic, most accessible layer of your entire emergency fund. We're talking about physical cash, actual bills that you keep at home. The recommended amount for this tier is anywhere between 5,000 to 15,000 pesos. Now, why physical cash in this digital age? Picture this, a strong typhoon hits, and there's a massive power outage across your city. The internet is down, cell service is spotty. Your Gcash is useless. The ATMs are not working. But you suddenly need to buy medicine for a sick family member, or you need to pay for a tricycle to get to a safer location, or you just need to buy clean drinking water and food. This is where your Tier 1 cash becomes your hero. It's meant for those immediate small-scale emergencies where digital transactions are simply not an option. You need to be able to access it in seconds, not hours. A pro tip here is to keep this cash in a secure but easy-to-reach spot at home. Don't just stuff it all in one envelope. Split it into smaller bills, hundreds, 50s, 20s. This makes it easier to pay for small items without flashing a large bill. And consider storing it in a waterproof, fireproof pouch for extra protection. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. This small stash of cash can mean the difference between panic and peace of mind during a disaster. Alright, now that we have our immediate cash sorted, let's move on to Tier 2, the digital safety net. This is the core of your emergency fund. This tier should hold about 1 to 3 months' worth of your essential living expenses. If your monthly expenses, rent, utilities, food, transportation add up to, say, 25,000 pesos, then your Tier 2 fund should be between 25,000 to 75,000 pesos. So, where do you put this money? The best place for your Tier 2 fund is a high-interest savings account in a digital bank. Think Maya, Cbank, GoTime, or Tonic. Why these? Because they offer 2 key advantages. First, they are highly liquid. You can access your money 24/7 through their apps, transfer it to other accounts, or withdraw it from ATMs almost instantly. There are no complicated withdrawal schedules or penalties. It's your money, and you can get it when you need it. Second, while the main purpose isn't to earn, these digital banks offer much higher interest rates than traditional banks, sometimes up to 6% or more per annum. So your money is not just sitting there losing value to inflation. It's earning a little something while waiting. It's the perfect balance between accessibility and a small return. Here is a crucial pro tip that is more psychological than financial. When you open this account, name it emergency fund, do not touch. Seriously, give it that exact label. Why? Because seeing that name every time you open your banking app serves as a powerful mental barrier. It stops you from thinking, oh, I'll just borrow a little for the 11.11 sale and pay it back later. Naming it reinforces its purpose and protects you from your own impulse spending. This Tier 2 fund is for major disruptions, like a sudden job loss, a medical procedure, or an urgent home repair. It's your buffer to handle life's bigger curveballs without going into debt. Okay, so you've got your Tier 1 cash at home and your Tier 2 digital savings built up to cover 3 months of expenses. Congratulations, you already have a more robust emergency fund than most people. Now, we can talk about Tier 3, the extended buffer. This tier is optional, but highly recommended, especially once you've secured a solid 3 to 6 months of expenses in your Tier 2 fund. Tier 3 is for the what if things get really, really bad scenarios. Think a prolonged period of unemployment that lasts longer than a few months, a major economic recession, or a long-term family crisis that requires significant financial support. This is where you can park the additional portion of your emergency fund, say, another 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Because this money is for a longer-term emergency, it doesn't need to be as instantly accessible as your Tier 1 or Tier 2 funds. You can afford a little less liquidity in exchange for slightly better returns than a standard savings account. So where does this money go? Good options include short-term placements like 6 to 12-month time deposits, which offer a fixed, guaranteed interest rate. You can also consider very conservative, low-risk investments like money market funds or conservative unit investment trust funds, also known as UITFs. These are professionally managed funds that invest in very safe short-term debt instruments. They are generally stable and can be liquidated within a few business days. Here's a very important pro tip, or rather, a warning. Do not put your Tier 3 emergency fund into volatile or long-term investments. This means avoiding things like individual stocks, and especially VULs or variable universal life insurance. While these can be great for long-term wealth building, they are terrible for an emergency fund. Their value can fluctuate wildly, and getting your money out can be slow and complicated. Remember the golden rule. Your emergency fund's priority is liquidity and capital preservation, not high returns. This tier is your ultimate safety net, ensuring you can weather even the longest of storms without derailing your entire financial future. So let's do a quick breakdown to put it all together. Imagine your total emergency fund is 100,000 pesos. Here's how you could structure it using our 3-tier system. First, Tier 1, instant cash. You take about 10% to 20% of that. So 10,000 to 20,000 pesos. You keep this as physical cash at home in small bills for those quick grab-and-go emergencies like power outages or needing to buy immediate supplies when digital payments are down. Accessibility is instant. Next, Tier 2, digital savings. This is the biggest chunk, around 50% to 70% of your fund, so that's 50,000 to 70,000 pesos. This goes into a high-interest digital savings account like Maya or GoTime. Its accessibility is very easy, just a few taps on your phone. This is for bigger issues like an unexpected job loss, a sudden medical bill, or an urgent car repair. It's your primary safety net. Finally, Tier 3, the short-term buffer. This would be the remaining 10% to 30%, so 10,000 to 30,000 pesos. You park this in a slightly less liquid but higher earning instrument like a money market fund or a short-term time deposit. Accessibility is moderate, it might take a few days to get. This is your backup for extended downtime, like if you're out of work for many months. By structuring your fund this way, you create layers of security. You have a solution for every type of emergency, from a small inconvenience to a life-altering crisis. You're not just saving money. You're building a strategic defense system for your finances. So, As we wrap up, I want you to remember one final thought. Your emergency fund is not a flex. It's not a side hustle or an investment portfolio you brag about at parties. It is your financial seatbelt. On most days, when the road is smooth and the sun is shining, you don't even notice it's there. It feels useless. But on that one bad day, when you hit a pothole you didn't see coming or another car suddenly swerves into your lane, it is the one thing that will save you. It's the quiet confidence of knowing that whatever happens, you have a cushion, you have options. You won't have to borrow from family, sell your assets at a loss, or fall into a spiral of high-interest debt just to survive. That peace of mind is priceless. So I have a question for you, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Where is your emergency fund parked right now? Is it in cash, in a digital bank, in stocks? And more importantly, if an emergency happened in the next hour, could you access the money you need, no questions asked? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation about this. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future videos on building a better financial life. Stay safe and stay prepared.